over here on Championship Harvest at YouTube. Championship Harvest presents, presented by Nick Witosh of Sleeper Sports Media. We present Monthly Mania Episode 2. Tonight, Saturday night main event, as you know, we are going to break down everything on that card. Only 4 matches to talk about that one, but we also have other things to talk about here. So we're going to rock and roll. We're going to go for about an hour. Hopefully we can get some new faces in. I see, shout out to Saturday Smack Talk and the Tired Sports Network for being here. Here we go. Can't wait. Let's go. Yes, we are rocking and rolling. A little bit late from what I scheduled it for, but better late than never. We're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna look up the card. Not a lot of matches, but somehow still a lot to talk about. So we have Saturday night's main event I'm going to start with Friday Night SmackDown and the results from last night in Salt Lake City, Utah, where Saturday night's main event will take place tonight. Saturday night main event is over on Peacock. It's interesting that we're having one this weekend and then also next weekend. Or not next weekend, but next month will be Saturday night's main event as well. That will be John Cena's retirement match on December 13th in Washington, D.C. This is Monthly Mania Episode 2. And once a month, I come on here and on Championship Harvest and talk about wrestling, bring all the latest and greatest in the world of WWE, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and maybe a little bit AEW, depending on how the chat goes and how we get here. But without anything else, we are going to do, like I said, Friday Night SmackDown results, talk about what went down last night, and then we have Saturday night's main event. Also can talk a little bit about Collision, depending on, again, how that goes. But we're just going to share this out. Get some people coming. But let's see, shared groups. Should have done this first, but better late than never. Give another chance to get more people in here. Hopefully get our live out into the algorithm on the YouTube world. We got a lot to talk about here at Championship Harvest and Monthly Mania. One day a month rather. We bring wrestling over to the channel. Let Hunter focus on bringing interviews, bringing more independent style wrestling. Focus on that. He also brings in heavily focus on MMA as well, UFC, all that good stuff. A lot going on over there as we head towards the end of the year and the end of the ESPN era for UFC, heading into of course, the Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus era over there on for UFC. We're going to share this also to Twitter, and then we're going to get into it, give a little bit of chance for more people to come. Usually about the 5-minute mark is when I see people coming in, so hopefully here shortly we get some people coming in and get the chat going. Just 1 second. Go. Other breaking news. Let's see. Official statement from MVP. I know this is not wrestling related, but still falls under the umbrella of what you see here on Championship Harvest. Combat sports. So official statement from MVP regarding the planned Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis event on Friday here in about 2 weeks. They are, let's see, gathering information, reviewing the details to ensure once they complete the review of what went down, I guess we have to wait and see if it's actually going to be, if the fight's actually in jeopardy or not. That is very interesting. I know that was a big topic going around. Big topic going around as of late over this week. Um, prime news right there. That'll be some topic of conversation over on my channel after I'm done with this one here. But we're gonna get down to business and review SmackDown last night. Tiffany Stratton kicks off SmackDown ahead of her championship match against Jade Cargill tonight in Salt Lake City, Utah, over at the Delta Center for Saturday night's main event, the WWE Women's Championship. This one is a SummerSlam rematch, and Tiffany, who's been on a tear as of late for the entire year, 27-1. Did lose to Stephanie Vaquer at is that Clash in Paris or WrestlePalooza, or one of the two, or Crown Jewel. Sorry, lost to Stephanie at Crown Jewel. So make of that what you will. It's an exhibition. So I mean, they've mentioned that Tiffany lost, but have not mentioned that Cody lost. Technically lost. I mean, whatever. A disqualification loss. Seth cheated to win, whatever the case. Cody cheats all the time. So fair is fair. But we had Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill face off. This is directly from the website. I wouldn't call it face off. Tiffany went out to do a promo and Jade interrupted, and then they tried to brawl, but of course security wouldn't let them, as Tiffany is nursing a knee injury and is cleared as I forget how they said it, but they I think the cats are trying to get up here and be part of the show. Jade and Tiffany, I think Jade has to win this one. I really do, and we'll talk more about the prediction side of it as we get into the breakdown for the show and Saturday night's main event that is live on Peacock at 7. So we're just about 2 to 3 hours away. So it's going to be cutting it close with doing my show directly after this one. So over at Sleeper Sports Media, the Nick Witas show will be live over there once I'm finished up here. But we got about still long show, a lot to talk about here. United States Jade and Tiffany went into the United States Open Challenge, Championship Open Challenge from Ilya Dragunov. Nathan Frazier answered the call. Came out, was interrupted by Tommaso Ciampa, and then eventually we would get the match underway. Ilya Dragunov, it was a great match, great back and forth. Nathan Frazier is really coming into his own. He did come out with Axiom, but Fraxium came out together in their intro, and then Axiom went back and let him handle his business on his own. Of course, he then came out once he was getting attacked by DIY, and we saw that these four have been boiling to starting a feud. Dragunov would pick up the win, would go backstage, very mad after being attacked as well, being just collateral. We then had a run-in with Tama Tonga and Ilya Dragunov, so Tama Tonga seemingly calling his shot to be the next one to answer the United States Open, the United States Championship Open Challenge. So we're going to probably see that one next week. I think they've already said that. Well, they've announced that he'll have an open challenge. They didn't announce who. They're still going with the mystery opponents and really building up the fact that a champion doing this is bringing prestige and never can't prepare, and blah, blah, blah. Corey Graves just slobbing on the knob of Ilya Dragunov or Sami Zayn at that point. This led into Carmelo Hayes and Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson did get new music. He got a solo Titantron graphics, all that good stuff. I see we have 3 people now watching. Hopefully we can get some chat going. And then really push this one into the algorithm there. Don't forget to, as you come in, double tap the screen. That's how you like in a vertical live. But Carmelo Hayes would pick up the win here. Miz tried to help Kit Wilson pick up the win, but that led to a DDT from Carmelo Hayes. Wasn't enough to get the win. Or no, Kit Wilson dropped Melo with a DDT. That wasn't enough. They then give Hayes the win. Miz comes out and attacks him again. So their feud, their rivalry is nowhere near finished. As is the next one. Alexa Bliss defeats Nia Jax thanks to Charlotte Flair. Corey was going on all night about it's not fair that her tag partner's out there, so Nia Jax now seemingly needs a tag partner. But again, I don't know who they would pair her up with that she hasn't been paired up with and then just gone their separate ways, or she turned on them. Candice LeRae probably could be the one that they could do, but at the same time, it's like, would they really do that again just for the next week to have her go back with DIY? So Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax was made official for next week. So that was that, and then we had a couple backstage interviews or backstage segments with Chelsea Green, Chelsea Green, and Kiana James. We did see that Chelsea Green will get a match. We don't know if it's going to be a title match against Julia next week to become, and this was a direct quote from her, official, yes. What's up, Hunter? Official, yes. Chelsea, and this was a direct quote saying she's going to become the first and fourth ever United States Women's Champion. I forget how longest reigning, most dangerous, something. The way she said it was hilarious, but that one, no official word on what match she's going to get. We just know that she's going to be in action next week on SmackDown back on the East Coast in South Carolina. This led into the Tama Tonga and JC Mateo. The MFTs would defeat Motor City Machine Guns. And interesting about this one is they're still kind of feuding with the Wyatt Six, but the Wyatt Six didn't show up last night, which is kind of dumb to not have the spooky faction, the Spooky Ookie. That was another direct quote from Chelsea Green. The Spooky Ookie factions to show up on SmackDown there, for them to come out and attack them and set up maybe a little build or a little bit of a tease to War Games, as we are just about, well, really just 3 or 4 weeks away at this point from War Games and Survivor Series, and there's absolutely no build for any women's teams or a women's War Games match. So, and this has been floating around in the dirt sheet area adjacent. No one truly credible has said this, but I think it's all speculation and fantasy booking. But we could be looking at 2 men's War Game matches with the Vision against the OG Bloodline, and then the MFTs against the Wyatt Six. I highly doubt it at this point. They'll probably throw the women's War Games match together very last minute, like they often do. But the MFTs, and I mean, they have 5. The Wyatt Six, they have 5. It would be easy to, but of course, the build has just been them going back and forth, not really talking or not really calling either one out. I mean, the creepy vignettes or whatever, Nikki Cross being involved backstage and showing up here, showing up there. It's very back and forth, but that's still more than what we're getting for the women's side of things. I mean, you do have Bailey and Lyra could somehow join. I don't know. It's hard, and the Survivor Series War Games, that's going to be coming here very, very soon. So some thoughts on that one, but not anything that is going to be made sense when said out loud. Besides, unless we really, really break it down here, but hopefully we can get some more people coming through, get some more likes on the show here, and get it out into the algorithm about 15 minutes in roughly. Otherwise, we don't get a chance to get to as many people as we can. We are under 2 hours away, well under 2 hours away from Saturday night's main event on Peacock. So about 45 minutes here, and then we'll jump over to basically going over the same thing while also talking about Misfits and all the boxing side of things with over on Sleeper Sports Media. So appreciate being here to host this show and break down the latest and greatest on SmackDown. The main event of SmackDown, we also did have Rey Fenix run in with Tama Tonga and set up that match for next week. That one is going to be very, very interesting. I don't know why they also had Rey Fenix stand up on a crate to be in Tama Tonga. The height difference was that much. The MFTs did pick up that win, and then now Tala Tonga finally gets a chance to be in a singles match. Martina and I were talking about this last night. I don't think he's been in a singles match since he's debuted. Been in one-off tag matches and everything, gone back and forth and all that, but I don't think he's been in a singles match yet. So that's going to be interesting to see him and the height go against Ray Phoenix and the agility, the speed, everything. That would lead into the main event. Drew McIntyre, and we saw both Drew and Cody go into Nick Aldis's office, talk about the contract, but they both said that they agree. They both said that they liked what they saw in the contract and they were good. They'd sign, and then we get to the moment. Why Cody came out first as the champion, I don't know. McIntyre comes out. Cody signs it, no problem, no issue. Drew comes out, refuses to sign, mentions that Cody, everything in the contract is against him, and it all sets up for Cody to win by either if there's a disqualification, Cody wins. If there's a count out, Cody wins. So he was refusing to sign it. Cody Rhodes took it upon himself to question and get those stipulations added into the match. So this is now a no DQ, no count out for Cody to retain. Whatever however you want to actually say the stipulation, you know what we're getting at here. But yes, Cody Rhodes can now lose the WWE title to Drew McIntyre if he's counted out, if he's disqualified. There's no championship advantage. That is essentially what the stipulation is. We also saw Cody lose his cool as Drew mentioned his family, saying he should be trick-or-treating and all of that. Cody was in a orange suit, looked like he was a pumpkin or was hooking them horns. A nice Texas orange there last night on SmackDown in the Delta Center in Utah. That one went down last night. So they did do the contract signing. Cody went through the table. McIntyre stood tall. He also took a shot at the IWC and Twitter and all the omens and the superstitions of standing tall on the go home show before a championship match at a PLE. If this was anyone else, this would be a bad omen, but I'm not anyone else, is what he said, is what the tweet was with him holding the title and standing tall. So hopefully tonight we see a championship switch both on SmackDown, and then the Raw World Heavyweight Championship will be decided as well. And there's a whole bunch to talk about that one in there, along with the WrestleMania teasers and the poster and so much to go over in the last week that we've seen in the world of WWE. So SmackDown goes off the air with McIntyre standing tall. That one sets up. I don't know what's going to main event tonight. We have not seen a match order, a card order. Officially, probably won't until much closer. I mean, maybe one of the credible news outlets and news sources did post and get that internal rundown, the internal order of the card. But we have not. At least I have not seen anything official. Trying to find it here. I don't. Let's see. Yeah, Penn State lost. I'm shocked. I see Hunter retweeted, got that out there. We'll see. Let's see here. Collision's also on tonight, so that's gonna be interesting. We're in a very interesting spot now that I think about it with the World Heavyweight Championship and it being vacant. We're in a very, very interesting spot with that. But Jade to win. Let's see. So Jade has arrived Jade arrived to the Delta Center there about 20 minutes ago. Tiffany Stratton just arrived there. Just trying to see if we got a rundown yet. Jey Uso is there. CM Punk is there. They're arriving now. We got the IC title. We'll get into the full breakdown of the card here very shortly. All right. Nope, I don't see a rundown yet. So we're gonna be heavy speculation on the order of the show. But all 4 matches are title matches. All 4, one mid card title, and then 3 main event scene titles. So this is going to be very interesting to see what they lead off the show with, what closes the show. And honestly, I don't see how potentially. I mean, I don't see how Tiffany and Jade doesn't open the show. I don't see how Cody and Drew doesn't close the show. I mean, I guess the triple threat with the Intercontinental title, that could open the show. That could be fun. Oh man, this is a tough one to pick. This is a tough one to predict. But I guess that's why we here. That's why we do what we do over here at Championship Harvest on YouTube, exclusively in the vertical format here to get to more people and get more reach, which so far has not been working, but that's all right. We'll figure that out, and we'll still get through it. We'll rock and roll. But that was the SmackDown results there for the first 20 minutes. Now we have, of course, like I said, Saturday night's main event. Starting off with the, as I mentioned, new stipulated match. Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre for the WWE title rematch. Cody can now lose via disqualification, via countout. I don't think it's the same for McIntyre. Maybe it is. They did not do this well enough to wait until 24 hours before the match to throw this stipulation into the mix. They didn't do this well at all. I am looking at the graphic, and it does say just streaming on Peacock, so it will not be on NBC tonight. I do believe that was part of the new deal that was put in place to allow them off Peacock early. As we know, the ESPN was not supposed to pick up the PLEs until WrestleMania next year, but that started back in September with WrestlePalooza. And going forward, Peacock would be the exclusive home of Saturday night's main events and of NXT PLEs, or those are on Netflix as well. If you have Surfshark VPN, and you can get that over at our friends No Dirt Sheets over there and support them as well. But Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, I think Drew's got to win this one at this point, or now is the time for him to win. The stipulation was not set up very well, but it does help them a lot in the sense that Cody can lose the title and the championship can switch hands without Cody eating another pin. They can finally turn him heel. They can finally get Drew a title. They can again further they can wait to turn Cody heel again and further push him into madness with Drew holding it over Cody's head that he made him lose his cool twice, and then finally when he snaps for the third time, that's when it's done, it's over with. And Cody did mention last night that good guys used to finish last until I got here, and then he walked away, and then that's what got him put through and sent through a table. We also had and saw the teaser for WrestleMania 42 again in Las Vegas. We saw some promo videos come out for that one, and then saw the trailer, the teaser for them that they did with Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and Triple H, and Brock Lesnar as well. I mentioned this last night, and everyone in that video, in the picture that they showed where they're sitting around the poker table, besides Cody, has been a Paul Heyman guy. So Brock, Punk, Roman, and they did go in that order. They sat Brock, they sat Punk, then Roman and Cody were on the other side. I'm not saying this, I'm not putting it out there that I think this is what they're going to do, but it was just a nice observation to see them do this, and we know that they don't do anything on accident. They plan this stuff very accordingly. And Cody Rhodes, next Paul Heyman guy, I don't know. Would it be interesting? Hell yeah, it would be interesting. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm just reading into it too much, if I'm just noticing something interesting that they did on purpose and there's nothing more to it. If I noticed it and the fact that they're going to run with it, we will have to wait and see as we get closer and closer to WrestleMania. But I think Cody, he's going to snap eventually. There's no way that they would continue doing this and talking about him being very non-Cody-like. We've never seen him like this before, and do all this and that, and then just, again, not turn him heel. I mean, got to at some point to refresh over there on SmackDown until Roman can get back there and win the title back himself. But that is the WWE title match. I'm picking Drew McIntyre, and I want McIntyre to win. But I could very well see Cody somehow retaining, and then I really, from there, I don't know what you would do with Drew. I don't know who steps to the WWE title next. I don't know. I mean, unless they have Orton show up to help Cody, but inadvertently it costs Cody, and then he turns heel on Randy since Randy's over as a face, or they could just have Randy come out and screw him and then continue. There's so many different directions they could go. And they're probably going to do the most boring one possible. So Rhodes, McIntyre goes down tonight, 7 p.m. Probably going to be the main event. I could see it very well being the main event. Even though there is a vacant World Heavyweight Championship on the line. That's the next one we're going to dive into and talk about Jey Uso and CM Punk. CM Punk was deemed the number one contender after winning a triple threat match to determine that and face Seth Rollins. And then Rollins, of course, gets hurt in the crown jewel match against Cody, then is turned on by the Vision. We then have Jey Uso win a battle royal to also be crowned number one contender. So he's now the number one contender to the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. That title was then forcefully vacated by Adam Pearce on Raw just a couple weeks ago after, of course, the Bronson Reed shows up wearing the title, claiming the title is his and belongs to the Vision. Paul Heyman, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, I think will be heavily involved in this one. And I saw someone else do their predictions and make their picks and have neither one of them winning. So a disqualification here would result in the title going vacant again. And while that would be a swerve and have no one win, especially because Seth Rollins went on to Good Morning Football yesterday and was talking about the fact that his World Heavyweight title will be held by either CM Punk or Jey Uso. So keeping the title vacant, keeping the title off of both of these guys who just were recently champions, CM Punk for 5 minutes, Jey Uso for 27 days is what it felt like. Might have been a little bit more, might have been a little bit less. But I mean, it's run its course. I think he's got to get pushed off the deep end. I think Jimmy is going to get involved somehow. I could definitely see the Vision getting involved somehow, and this one resulting in a disqualification or in a double count out or something, either setting up a rematch or finally putting LA Knight into the sequence and getting him getting that strap onto him. Because if there's one person that does deserve it more than Drew McIntyre over on SmackDown or Roman Reigns, it's LA Knight. Deserves a shot, deserves to be champion, and that would be a way to save everything than having to have Jey Uso, who is only over because of a catchphrase, or CM Punk, who just turned 47. I know LA Knight just turned 38 or whatever, but Jimmy and Jay, they could right the wrong for their match from WrestleMania 40 that was horrible. and they could write that and then build that also into a match between them, and then build it into them reuniting for War Games. Now that match would go down and happen at a regular Raw or SmackDown, and then could set up Roman returning and then lead into War Games, like I said, because right now we have no idea, and they'd love to do this. They love to do it. They love to build shows in 3 weeks. After they just had a show, and randomly just throw everything together and rush it. And with 3 or 4 weeks away, Roman is advertised. He's front and center on the poster for War Games. I mean, it would be a dang shame to eventually get there and then be swerved and have the War Games matches be the Wyatt Six and the MFTs. Going more in depth into, and we'll do Survivor Series and War Games here. Usos versus Hardys should happen. I don't care if it's NXT or TNA. That would be wild. The Hardys did just recently lose the NXT tag title, so they are only the TNA tag team champions. But I could see them being coming back over into NXT. Maybe the Usos go back to NXT. I mean, that would be insane. It would truly be insane. I don't know how it happens. I really don't, but that is some fantasy booking of all fantasy booking right there. Is for sure the Usos versus the Hardys. I mean, at this point, so they've got to figure this out. I think if Jimmy does cost Jay the world heavyweight title, then there's going to be something. Oh, don't worry. Yeah, they're spitballing too. They're throwing stuff on the wall and hoping that it sticks. With the way that they continue to do things, unfortunately. Jay did eliminate Jimmy in the Battle Royal to win and go on to challenge for this title. And that, I think there's going to be more to that. But CM Punk, Jey Uso, I would love to see. I want a double disqualification or a double count out, or and even if it's just one disqualification, who would technically win if it was one disqualification? Because there's no championship advantage, so the vacant would retain, I guess. I mean, this one is very interesting in the way that they could go. The way everyone thinks it's going to go is going to be one way or the other, and then will they actually swerve us? Will them swerving us with this one, will that lead into, because I know people love to say that if this champion wins, then this one, the opposite one for the women's side isn't going to change. So we do have 2 Raw titles on the line, 2 SmackDown titles on the line, both SmackDown World titles on the line, and then the mid card for Raw. Tiffany and Jade, I think Tiffany has to drop this one. Otherwise, Jade is going to be in the same boat as McIntyre. And Tiffany's going to be in the same boat as Cody. It's going to be rinse, wash, and repeat. And I hate that I'm saying that. Everyone knows that I'm a Tiffy fan, have been, but it's time. It's over. Let's get off this ride and let Jade take the reins and run with it. She is apparently rumored to be start shooting a movie on the 3rd in Atlanta, so that could be partially a reason why they keep the title on Tiffany. But again, she just kind of turned heel last week, so that would be a wasted heel turn if they don't give her the title tonight. And then Tiffany can go and do whatever it is Tiffany does and go face Julia or Kiana James or whatever, maybe shift over to Raw. They have a draft soon, which they need to have a draft soon. After looking and seeing the Battle Royal and seeing the Raw roster on screen for the Battle Royal, they need a draft, and they need it badly. SmackDown has been very lackluster on talent side. Raw is overwhelming with the same faces over and over again, and then you don't realize how many people the Raw roster has because we keep seeing the same people over and over and over again. Damian Priest is another one who has been rinse, wash, and repeat and doing the same thing, feuding with someone, backstage vignettes, Drew or Aleister Black. Where is that rivalry going? It's got to be leading to another mixed tag match of Damian Priest and enter name here, Rhea Ripley, after a draft, and switch everything up against Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. I mean, it just is insane how badly we need a draft, and how they always drop the ball with the draft. So then everyone hates the draft, but we need one, and it's just a never ending cycle of, man, I wish we could have done that better. Seemingly, and just like the Intercontinental Championship triple threat that we have, Dominic Mysterio, who's also the AAA Mega Champion, against Penta, against Rusev. Penta and Rusev have gone back and forth, challenging Dom, challenging each other, being in number one contender matches, getting screwed in those number one contenders matches, and then getting screwed against Dom in championship matches. No champions advantage tonight. No, I don't know if it's no DQs or no disqualifications, but I'm going to also guess that Judgment Day will not be involved in any way, because they, again, are still teasing the breakup of Judgment Day. Finn Balor is fed up with Dom. Even JD is now getting fed up with Dom. And then Raquel and Roxanne, they're still kind of in between and going one way or another. They keep showing Liv in the background, pictures of her in the background in these segments. So we can only imagine that her return is intimate and coming in the near future. It's going to be very interesting to see, will he have the Americanos, Los Americanos get involved? Secretly, of course, but secretly, of course, they don't accidentally cost him the match. But of course, as we saw 2 weeks ago, they just interfered all on their own. Dom did not tell them to do anything. They just happened to be there and happened to interfere for him, as he told Adam Pearce. But that is Saturday night's main event. That is Friday night SmackDown. And really all we have left between tonight and War Games is a couple big episodes of Raw, and the go-home shows for the go-home week. We have John Cena's final Raw appearance at Madison Square Garden. It's interesting that the War Games poster is Roman front and center, Cody is on the side, Cena's on the opposite side, CM Punk is in the middle, Rey Mysterio is advertised, and they have not updated this, obviously, because Seth Rollins is still on the poster as well, as is Becky Lynch. That's another thing. Maxine Dupree is owed and guaranteed another Intercontinental Championship match against Becky Lynch. What's up, Tristan? I appreciate you showing up and joining us tonight. I'll be live over on my channel soon. There's Martina. Hey, how are you? Work must be slow here. I'll still be on time to pick you up, even if I have to cut my show short. We got about 20 more minutes here, and as you're coming in, double tap the screen. And hello, fellow kid. No, we're not. That's funny. I love that. But Tristan, thank you for joining and watching us over here. Martina, thank you for supporting and double tapping the screen here. Appreciate it. We just finished up and wrapped up the reviewing SmackDown, previewing Saturday night's main events. I think going out with keeping the title, the World Heavyweight title vacant, would be more beneficial to them than having either Punk or Uso win. So that's going to be interesting in seeing how they do that. War Games coming up, and they have not started to build, not nary one second of build for that one, which is one of my favorites. The only featured superstar they have updated right now is John Cena, even though we have the poster. And I don't know how Dom isn't on the poster for this one since it's in War Games, but Rey Mysterio is. Gotta see here. Cena's final match at Saturday night's main event. All gold there. Keeping it vacant would be insane, but it would be a way to get LA Knight into it easier than having him say the same things that he just beat Seth Rollins, he beat CM Punk, and then Punk beat him and whatever. Tristan, do you talk about UFC? So I don't. This channel does, but that is from the main guy behind Championship Harvest, which is Hunter. So he has plenty of UFC streams, talked about UFC Fight Night, Dana White Contender Series. All of that stuff is on replay here at his channel. I just go live on here for him to bring coverage for wrestling to him. So make sure you subscribe to Hunter so you don't miss whenever he does post over here, and don't miss any of the action. I know they've got a lot going on with the next two cards. Dana White Contender Series is on Tuesdays. I've started to watch NXT on Tuesdays, so there's that. But yeah, Hunter does go over and cover UFC and MMA and boxing, all of that stuff. So if you are into that, by all means, sub to him and join him when he's live. He also puts out full-length interviews with independent wrestlers from the north, up in the Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York area. So there is that. Saturday night's main event streaming on Peacock. I'm just trying to get the other graphics here just so I can get the short out and make that for today. There we go. There's the third one, and it's super easy when there's only 4 matches, but I still can't believe that there's only 4 matches and they didn't add another one. How do they not have the women's tag titles on the card when Charlotte and Alexa are 2 defenses away from the most all-time defenses for the women's tag titles there? We got 4 people watching, 3 likes. We need 1 more double tap on the screen there. Who's my favorite baseball player? I think we talked about this on one of my shows there, but that is Aaron Judge, of course. And all time is Derek Jeter, but right now currently is Aaron Judge. Let's see what else. Yeah, there's the WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday, April 19th, back in Allegiant Stadium. That's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to see how they... Sorry. It's going to be fun to see how they turn around and really draw us in. If they're promoting it now, there's got to be something big planned. Hopefully that's Roman Reigns getting his championship back. Hopefully it's LA Knight getting on the card. It's Chelsea Green getting on the card. I like Bo Jackson. Nice, very nice. That's a good choice. Good choice for sure. NXT is doing some great things, as is WWE Evolve, similar to LFG, and then there's another one that they also added. Trying to find it here. They don't update Evolve anymore on the website, which is very interesting. That's live on Wednesdays at Tubi. Yeah, they have not updated this since June, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know why they pushed it so hard to bring it into the universe of WWE and then all of a sudden stop pushing it. But that is over on Tubi on Wednesdays. And then, of course, we do have AEW Collision tonight, and I'm going to be doing the same thing over on my channel here. So, in AJ Lee, that would be fun, someone fun to come back. Again, she apparently signed a long-term deal, but has only been on for a couple of appearances. So who knows if she's actually signed past the end of September there with WrestlePalooza, and if she'll come back and face Becky. She's the last one to actually beat Becky not for the title that Becky has, but the last one to pin Becky. So WWE is in a weird spot right now. They've got to do something to drastically change and make that shift from the Cody Vengers helping Cody win to getting just getting something. I mean, switch it up in some way, shape, or form. So MVP. So that's what I was saying earlier. MVP has launched their own investigation, but for Tank Davis in that fight that could be in jeopardy. We'll talk more about that over on my channel here very shortly. Might have to push that and go tomorrow, and then just do a daily upload for over there, as the voice here is getting kind of tired. But Collision is tonight as well. I know we have not really talked about Collision or AEW here on the channel for Championship Harvest, but there's not really much else to go down and go into. Kendall Gray and WWE Evolve. She is definitely going to be a star. She does need a lot of work, kind of still green and very, very slow, but she's a great athlete, and I think she could really, really take from talent on the main roster. Brian Alvarez was saying that Kendall Gray should be on the main roster, and I have to agree. She was great against Lash Legend. Could be doing something on the main roster right now, but we probably won't see her on the main roster for another 10 years because they do like to hold them in the farm system and really, really grow that talent. Unfortunately, and it sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I'll be right back. I'm gonna throw a light on just so it stops bleeding into my hat there and get some get the lights on here. So I'll be right back. All right, we're back here at Championship Harvest and Monthly Mania. Had to get the light on and also grab a beverage. Shout out to Monster. Shout out to Prime. There's nothing better than getting a good course of caffeine running through your veins before you sit down and watch some Saturday Night Wrestling, Saturday Night's Main Event on Peacock at 7. And then, of course, Collision, AEW Collision at 8. I mean, why not go over AEW Collision here? We got 10 minutes left in the show before we jump over to Sleeper Sports Media and dive into more of the same thing. And then, of course, adding in some others as we cover a little bit more broader in the crossover scene, as well as just some other things here. So that's actually a really cool thumbnail there. So Collision preview. Mercedes Moné is in action with the CMLL Women's World Championship. Bandito Mascara, Dorada 2, and so much more. Fright Night Collision on TNT. Okada and Takeshita are in action for the Don Callis family, going up against Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, even though they're not really a tag team anymore. They turned on each other and continue this every week, so it just really doesn't make any sense. But hey, that's what we have over there on TNT. And so for more wrestling after Saturday Night's Main Event, which 7 o'clock start time with only 4 matches, I would expect this one to be over by 10:30. So when this is over, jump back over to HBO Max and restart Collision, and we will have plenty of wrestling and plenty of action on the card, both cards for tonight. Tristan, I appreciate it. I can't wait to do that one. Hopefully the 5:45 to 6:45 hour is is good for me and does well. Hopefully this one does okay over here on Championship Harvest, as Hunter and I are trying something new. I'm really trying to bring in a wrestling audience over here for him, while being a once a month show. I know that is still very difficult. So really quick, another 10 minutes here. ROH World Championship match. That was Bandito and Mascara. Tag team Okada and Takeshita versus Bowens and Caster. We also have trios match. Roderick Strong, Mark Briscoe, Commander versus La Faction Sammy Guevara, Beast Mortos, and Dralistico. Megan Bain and Marina Shafir will be in action with John Moxley on commentary. And then we have a Maximum Male Models MXM TV casting call. And that is what we got for AEW Collision tonight, November 1st. So big time action here on Saturday, November 1st for the world of pro wrestling. NXT, I was briefly talking about NXT and what they have going on. Kendall Gray, again, was great the other night on NXT. We also have some NXT Gold Rush featuring NXT, TNA, Evolve, and AAA. All will be involved. That's going to be a lot of fun to see at NXT Gold Rush here in about 2 weeks. That is the week after John Cena's final match and Saturday night's main event on the 13th of December. December 15th, Raw's in Hershey. So that would be a lot of fun. That is, of course, about a month outside of the scheduled Jake and Tank fight, so we'll see how that shakes. NXT Deadline is set for December 6th in San Antonio. That should be fun. We have Raw in Glendale, Arizona. I could see Nikki Bella being involved in that one. And then Tuesday, that makes sense. Tuesday, November 17th is John Cena's final Raw appearance in Madison Square Garden, final Raw appearance ever, as a wrestler, of course. We know he's going to be back eventually, but and then Tuesday, November 18th and Tuesday, November 25th are both, I'm sure they'll probably tape this and then just put one out the next week for all that. So, at the theater at Madison Square Garden, NXT Gold Rush, like I said, I expect a bunch of title matches to be on that card. But that's the latest and the greatest for the WWE. We don't really have much else. The Jake and Tank thing, that's very interesting to me about that one, and to see what they're going to do. Just about 24 hours ago, Jake Paul and Carl Froch negotiations have collapsed. Darren Till reportedly stepped in to fight Jake on behalf of Gervonta Davis after some allegations emerged. So more on that, of course. MVP is going to do their own investigation, and we'll probably get here. When are you? Tristan? I missed the comment. Be going over here to my channel here very, very shortly. So hopefully some of our regulars. I was hoping some of our regulars over there would come here, but I guess not. So that's okay. No Jake Ryan. Oscar De La Hoya has said that Ryan Garcia will not be stepping in to fight Jake Paul. Not going to happen. Fights for DAZN. Jake fights on Netflix. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. So Garcia is reportedly out, which I know a lot of people were saying that Ryan Garcia could step in for Tank Davis and fight Jake Paul, which no one really wants to see that one. Probably not a lot of people want to see Tank and Jake anyway. So, oh man, it's an interesting time for the world of combat sports. So, we'll see how it goes and see what what goes down. And keep it right here for subscribe to Championship Harvest, and Monthly Mania will be every month, bringing you the latest and the greatest for everything WWE. Let's see. He's sending a message to you. Okay, can you please? CM Punk is wild. So CM Punk, again, was the poster for Saturday Night's Main Event. He is also on the chairs that are all ringside. He was sending tagging AJ Lee in some pictures there, which was kind of funny, but also, you know, things that he would say to his wife. So I won't get into it. But let's see. There's nothing really else to bring to you. Saturday Night's Main Event goes down here in about an hour and 15. We're about 5 minutes away from jumping over to Sleeper Sports Media and running with our regularly scheduled programming for the Nick Wheatos show over there on Sleeper Sports Media. So this was a blast. Another episode of Monthly Mania in the books. How old am I? I'm 27. Whereas my 8-year-old says I'm almost 80, which is kind of crazy. Roman, you better not be anywhere near that match to help your cousin. And it's what he said on Raw. Oh man, Roman Reigns showing up at a Saturday Night's Main Event, that would just scream how desperate they are for him and his star power, and to show that Cody just can't handle it. So. I'm looking for any other breaking news to see here. Man, oh man. Let's see. November, there's a bunch of stuff coming to HBO Max, and I'm going to go more in depth on this one. Tristan, I missed that last message while I'm just looking for any other things to talk about here. On Monthly Mania, we pretty much hit on Saturday Night's Main Event and talked a little bit about War Games and where we could go with that. Again, I'm hoping they start the build for War Games and Survivor Series on Monday with Raw. I mean, they really don't have a choice. It's crazy that they do this, and I mean, we got a PLE. 3 weeks in between, a PLE on the 29th, and then we have a week in between. How are they going to build that? That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, and I know a lot of people are saying that they want to see Cena beat Dom for the Intercontinental title to become a Grand Slam champion, and they very well could do that at this point. For a cheap pop that they so desperately need, this Gen Z, Gen Alpha attention span issue, and bringing them in, the TikTok kids, the big flashy moments, and then they go from moment to moment to moment. So John Cena beating Dom in San Diego, John Cena then winning the IC title, holding it for, well, no, he would hold it for 2 weeks. You shouldn't make another YouTube account. Oh, you should make an account a gaming. So yeah, because of the way I built my channel, I just stream there on my channel. I stream Minecraft or Fortnite or whatever. But I know what you mean. I know what you're trying to say. So we'll see. We'll see eventually. Right now, I want to focus and build up one and get that monetized in the first level, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I mean, very rarely do I even stream anymore. More often than not, it's my 8-year-old who does that, and I just let her stream it to my channel there. But to the 4 that are watching, thank you. This has been a great episode. Talked about a lot. Saturday Night's Main Event preview. Leave the World Heavyweight title vacant. Have Drew beat Cody. Have Jade beat Tiffany. and also have Dom retain his Intercontinental Championship, and we will be good. This has been Monthly Mania episode 2 over here on Championship Harvest for Sleeper Sports Media. I'm Nick Wietosh, and then in correspondence, of course, with Championship Harvest. And thank you for having me. Let me host this, and we'll see you next month for the December episode, episode 3. Don't know when that would be. Probably we'll go back to our second Saturday of every month. So December 13th, before John Cena's final match, we will be live here on Championship Harvest for Monthly Mania 3. So that will go down December 13th. And until then, check me out over on my channel for all the latest and greatest on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Collision, Dynamite, everything else in between. And until then, till the next one, keep tuned in here at Championship Harvest with Hunter and all the things that he does, interviews, MMA coverage, UFC, independent wrestling, all the above. Again, thank you for having me here, Hunter. Awesome show. Felt like it was a great one, so can't wait to check out the analytics there and see where we go from here. But until next time, jump on over to Sleeper Sports Media. I'll be live here very shortly, and we will be doing the same thing over there and breaking down a whole lot more in the boxing scene, the crossover scene, Jake Paul, MVP, all that good stuff. So until then, Nick Wietosh signing off, and thank you. Have a great night here